Hi! I've got a card making tip for you today. Come and watch as I show you how to build layers without die cutting or fussy cutting. I'll be using the Cottage Rose stamp set to demonstrate this technique without the coordinating Cottage Flowers dies. I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 21 years, I've been teaching others how to create their own hand-stamped smiles. So after I show you how easy it is to build layers without die cutting or fussy cutting, I'll show you the finished card at the end. Here's a closer view of the Cottage Rose stamp set I'll be using today to show you how to hide part of an image. The technique is called masking. What you see, the Cottage Rose stamp set does have coordinating dies, the Cottage Flowers dies. So one way to hide part of an image would be to die cut both and layer them. But I want to show you this technique that you don't need to die cut or fussy cut every one of them. In fussy cutting, I would mean cutting all of this out. And that's really intricate. And so what I want to do is build an image on my basic white cardstock. I want to make this beautiful rose even fuller by adding more leaves. So let me show you what would happen if I didn't do the technique called masking. So I just have some scrap paper here, and I'm going to use my Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad, all right, because I'll be coloring my beautiful rose with Stampin' blends, and you need this special ink. The other inks, I've tried them, it can dissolve the lines. All right, so I've got my beautiful rose, and then I want more leaves coming out over here. So if I were to ink this up and stamp, because it's an outline, look what's going to happen. It's on there, ruins the whole image. So what we're going to do is first stamp our beautiful, beautiful rose. So with this technique called masking, what I've learned is whatever image I want out front gets stamped first. And I want those leaves to go behind it. So that means my big, beautiful rose will be stamped first. Oh, about right there's looking good. All right. And we'll set this aside. And I'm going to use Stampin' Up! It's so wonderful. It has masking paper. And so this is very thin with adhesive on the back. Wonderful. All right. So I'm going to ink this again. So we will be doing a little bit of fussy cutting, but just for one time, because I'll be able to use this over and over and over, where if you're doing the masking technique and you didn't have the dies, like I said, you'd have to cut them out for every one of them. So we'll just stamp this, and I'm going to get close into the corner. I don't want to waste any of it. And as you saw on the scrap piece, I want the leaves to go down here. So there is absolutely no need for me to cut out this entire image. Okay. But what I will do is cut it off the paper. Here we go. Because like I said, trying to fussy cut around all that. Fussy cutting meaning, this detail cutting. And I'm using my paper snips. Love these. These are only 10 and wonderful. They just allow you to get in there. You know what? I really don't even need to come back over this far, but I will. Look. And so when I'm cutting an image out for the masking technique, I cut right on the line because I don't want to leave any gap. And so you just follow along. A lot of times I'm just pretty much just turning the paper and holding the scissors. And that gives you that really nice, isn't that easy? Okay, so I'm doing more than I need. So I really enjoy the detail cutting like this, so stop me. All right, so we've got this. Now we're going to take the adhesive off the back, and there is a break in it. There we go. That's going to allow it to be easy to peel off. And then I'm going to use this to mask the image. That's where it comes from. Now, this is super sticky. Really super sticky. So we're just going to get rid of a little bit of that stickiness by first patting it on your slacks or your top. All right, and so now, look at that, I'm masking the technique, covering it up. All right, and so we'll come back with our Memento ink and our additional leaves. Ink that up, come over here, and stamp. All right, so that looks like that mess that we made, but when I peel this away, how cool is that? Now the leaves are partially hidden behind, giving me even a fuller rose. Isn't that awesome? I love this technique. It's one of my favorites. And this piece that I just did, it will go into my case. I can just put it over here and I'll have it to use over and over and over. All right, so let me show you the finished card. And here's my finished Cottage Rose card. Didn't that turn out lovely? All right, so here are all the Stampin' Blends colors that I used. Instead of listing them right now on the video, they're listed underneath it, all right? But I wanted to point out, see this Thinking of You? Well, that's from the Very Best Occasion stamp set. Isn't that pretty? This is from the July through December 2022 Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog. And it comes in a bundle with the Very Best Trio Punch. And that is the fancy corners I made on there. Wow, a lot prettier than just a rectangle, isn't it? And so I will have a link to my blog post with this card and all the measurements and the supplies underneath, so in case you'd like to duplicate it too. And so I hope you enjoyed learning how easy it is to hide part of an image without die cutting or fussy cutting on every card. If you enjoyed my card making tip on how to build layers without die cutting or fussy cutting, well, there are two things to do. The first one is make sure you subscribe to my channel, and the other, well, I invite you to subscribe to the Stampers Insider. It's your free stamping source for inspiration, information, and ideas. Just go now to www.thestampersinsider.com to subscribe. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Thanks for watching.